Hi everyone, welcome to another race analysis video. This is the first one of these I've done in a while, so let's see how we go. This is the Norwood Summer Crits Tuesday night. This is B grade and we're racing at Victoria Park. The Super Series is in full swing. I'm here with 3 or 4 teammates. Technically this is a solo race, but as usual we're going to try to set something up, see how it goes. Plan for this race was for the rest of my team to ride however they wanted to for the beginning of the race, getting a few breaks if they can. Otherwise, just do what they can to get me to the front in the last lap. I've jumped ahead to 20 minutes into the race, and it's genuinely been a pretty uneventful race. About the most exciting thing that happened is this little incident here. Just have a look in the back camera. The rear wheel of the Renbeer guy decides he's going to start pinballing off a little bit. Didn't see that happening. Just realised he was bouncing off my shoulders, and he came through and everything stayed upright. And that was about the most exciting thing that happened in the first 20 minutes of the race. So we're inside the last 10 minutes of the race. It's only a 35-minute race today. We're still early in daylight savings, and I decided it's time to start moving up. The protected side is on the left as we're going north here, and so just holding 200 down to coasting now, and I've moved up 10 places. And that's important because just around the next corner, Frank lights it up with a pretty nice attack off the front, and when a few people go after that, a bit of separation occurs. Now this break didn't really end up going anywhere, but because I was near the front when it happened, I was able to respond. I'm only doing 400-500 watts, and I'm sitting in the draft. And as you'll see in the rear camera, as we come around the next couple of corners, a few guys ahead of me are doing an awful lot of work to chase this down, and gaps are beginning to open up behind. Now, if I'm sitting too far back, then I'm potentially the one having to chase these down. And you can see in the rear camera now, we've got a sizable gap. And this could have been the split that won the race. As it happened, Frank was left on the front too long. Probably just a couple of seconds ago he needed to pull off and someone else needed to pick it up. But since that didn't happen, we came back together. But it just shows how important it is in these late stages of the race to move up whenever you can, just to be in those top 5 wheels. Now, as sometimes happens when we've got 3 grades racing on the same track, the grade ahead of us, which I think was D grade, was on their last lap, and so we were kind of neutralised. You can see Frank sitting off the front just keeping the pace down so that we don't catch the D grade. And you can see in the rear camera it's really fanned out and we're going quite slow. And again, it's important to be up the front at this point because even though it's going pretty slowly, it can be really challenging to move to the front and you can easily get swamped. So again, it was a good thing I moved to the front when I did. So after a couple of laps of being neutralised, when Frank lets us go again, of course, immediately the attacks start coming, and they start coming pretty hard and fast. We've only got 2 laps left in this race, and we've just spent the last lap and a half cruising around at 30 k's an hour. So instead of it being a hard race where everyone's a bit tired coming into the finish, we are all fresh as daisies, and here we go with 2 laps to go. Now, up until this point, I've not really minded my position. I've sort of been 10 wheels back. But as we go around this corner, I've realised I've started moving backwards a bit too much in the bunch. And up ahead, guess what? There's a split happening, and a group of about 6 or 8 is moving off the front. So I'm on the left-hand side of the road, and again, the wind's sort of a cross headwind coming from the right. So I'm in a good position, but I'm also in the gutter, and I can't really move up on the protected side. Fortunately, Misha Bartalan comes back on my left. He's a super strong rider from sort of 20 minutes to go, so you never let him get up in a break. He comes past and I decide to hop on his wheel and he starts moving forwards a bit. But then we get the wobbles around this corner, and this is a bit prescient of what's going to happen next, but coming around the corner with the wobble of the wheel in front of me, just start losing too much speed. With now 1 lap to go, and I saw the 2 lap to go banner last lap, I'm way too far back, and so I decided to put in a big dig here. I'm on the windward side, but it's a tailwind here, and so putting in a fairly big sprint. This is a match burning sprint. I get myself up to top 15 wheels. Fortunately, a guy ahead of me is sort of sitting out in the wind a little bit and marching his own way up, so I stick on his wheel. And now coming into the last sort of half a lap, I'm a lot happy with my position. I know that coming around this corner, if I can keep my speed pretty well, which looks like I do, I know that I can recover a little bit down this back corner, down the back straight, and then it slows down and fans out, and this is problematic because I often get caught, so I decide to go out on the outside and follow a wheel if someone attacks. And so now coming into the bottom of the last straight, it's a bit downhill here into the hairpin corner. Now I'm really happy with my position. I've got a couple of teams ahead of me with 2 guys, and I'm going to go into the bottom corner. The problem is the guy ahead of me brakes and a couple of wheels start wobbling, and that throws me way wide into this corner. I'm on the brakes, and at this point I've lost 10 k's an hour of speed and I've lost 10 meters. And now instead of sprinting, sort of from 3rd, 4th wheel, I'm sprinting from 8th, 10th. And I put in a reasonable sprint, and I get up to 6th in the end. But that last corner just threw me out so badly. There was really no way I could recover from that. So looking at that last corner again, I can see I made a bit of a mistake here. I was on the outside of this guy's wheel, and when the riders ahead started wobbling around, I had nowhere. I couldn't confidently turn into that gap. If I'd been on the inside of his wheel, then as they were wobbling, the only way they're going to go is out. And I could have just kept my line through the corner. So the lesson learned is through that last corner, try to stay, if you are following a line, try to stay on the inside of it and go from there. But unfortunately it didn't happen this time, so hopefully we'll see what happens next time. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.